What's up, guys? Hope you're doing fine. And for your daily motorcycle hype, welcome back to Slice Bikes. So, today I have a very interesting episode for you guys, which is more like a discussion about the biking culture and the motorcycle, habits and the motorcycle community as of such in India, and how people are kind of making the culture toxic, and they don't understand certain aspects about riding and motorcycling. So yeah, today's discussion mostly would be about motorcycling culture and biking in India. So I consume a lot of motorcycle content online on YouTube and Instagram, of course, and I come across a lot of content which I may not find very pleasing to myself, and also I feel that this type of stuff may cause a more toxic culture in the biking community in India. So the first thing I would like to touch upon, which actually intrigued me and inspired me to make this video, is bikers who randomly make content without having prior bike knowledge. Especially the post that triggered me was, I saw 3-4 content creators who just got into posting bikes content on YouTube and Instagram. They had the privilege to visit the auto show in Delhi by Bharat Mobility. So I saw at least 3-4 creators posting that RX 100 is going to be back in a 350cc format. And I was like, are you even kidding me? You got a 1984 released RD 350 on showcase, and without even asking the people at the stalls, and without asking or inquiring what kind of bike is this and what bike is this, or are you going to launch, you shoot a clip and come and post that Yamaha is launching a RX 100 in a 350cc format and RX 100 is going to be back and stuff like this. So these particular posts, and one of the content creators even went on to prove his foolishness by calling the RD350 as RX350. He doesn't even know the actual name of the motorcycle, and he's commenting and spreading such misinformation on YouTube and Instagram. And the post has garnered a lot of views, over 100k views, and there are so many comments and so much content interaction. And I'm like, this is why quality content doesn't get into the algorithm of YouTube and Instagram, because there's so much trash and spam on the internet. Content creators just make content just to spam on these websites without thinking about the quality of the content, without even thinking twice about, are they sounding smart, are they sounding intelligent, are they sounding like a reliable source. No, just want to put something to cause hype, gain views. Their only objective is to gain views on YouTube and Instagram. You will probably gain temporary attention, or sometimes you may be lucky and gain money, but your stupidity and your foolishness and your lack of knowledge isn't going to give you a long stable source of income. It's not going to do it. It's going to give you 1 or 2 shots at it, and then it's done, because people are at one point of time are going to realize and recognize your stupidity. So your stupid posts and your wrong information spreading posts are not going to go a long way, because it's not the right source of knowledge. So one thing is this. The second thing is, so many people comparing motorcycles without even knowing categories and classes of motorcycles. One of the most toxic communities I've ever seen in the biker community are the Royal Enfield owners. Me being a Royal Enfield Classic 500 owner myself, I am saying this because the GT650 community is one of the most ignorant, one of the most toxic, and one of the most, insecure group of riders, because they have a 650cc engine but they want to compete with lower category bikes. First of all, that's stupid. Second of all, you're comparing a cafe racer to a low cc sports bike. Third is your bike is not completely a sports built engine. The engine is meant for cruising. It's a relaxed cruising engine. So you cannot be comparing yourself to KTMs and Ninja 500s and Aprilias and stuff like that, because your class is different. The way your engine works is different. You guys cannot rev above 7500 rpm. So there's no point in comparing your bike to ours. I mean, there is no point in comparing a cruiser with a sports bike. I don't even know why cruiser guys compare their bikes to sports bikes. Second is the R15 and the KTM community. These guys think that racing is from their perspective. They have 4 lakhs in their pocket, so KTM gives you the best in 4 lakhs, so KTM is better than Kawasaki Ninja and Aprilia. No man, price doesn't come into consideration anywhere when it comes to racing, bro. And the more you spend, the better bike you get. Obviously, the more you're spending money, the better upgrades you can get, the better technology you can get, the better performance enhancement you get. So you just have a single cylinder motorcycle that is comparable in its class. You're a sports bike. Cylinders don't matter if it's 3, 4, 1, 2, whatever, it doesn't matter. The performance of your bike matters, dude. So if your bike is not able to match up to the twin cylinder bikes, I mean, you gotta accept your fate, bro, because you're a 400cc sports bike, we are a 400cc sports bike or 300cc sports bike. It's directly comparable. You have liquid cooling, we have liquid cooling. That's all that matters. You have the tech, we have the tech. That's all that matters, dude. Your twin cylinder, yours more expensive. This all doesn't matter at all. The number of cylinders and the amount you spend doesn't matter at all in racing. Racing is only all about going fast if your machine can go faster than the other bike or no. That's it. And R7 is directly comparable with a Ninja 650 or a CBR 650, because they are the 650cc class, 650 to 700cc class motorbikes. So they are directly comparable. These kind of stupid reasons saying that no, your bike is 1 lakh rupees costlier and all doesn't make sense at all. Third and lastly, what I would like to address is the gear warriors and the safety warriors. As far as I have been riding motorcycles in the city, the max you need is a helmet and a pair of gloves. You really don't need that anything more, unless you're going to ride on track, like a full track leather suit. You don't need anything else if you're riding in the city or if you're touring on the highway. A nice leather jacket would do, with some jeans and some really good quality sneakers. Like, I personally prefer the Jordan ones, and they work wonders for me while riding bikes. They never gave up on me. I've fallen down with these shoes, but they never tore. So if you're just covering most parts of your body, you really don't need any gear. There are some gear warriors who say that you need a full protective jacket, you need the pants, you need the biker boots, you need a 20k 30k helmet. No, it's not necessary. You need a helmet that is good, of good quality, which have the certifications, the minimum certifications from a good brand, good pair of gloves, and that's it. You're ready to go, dude. That's all the safety you need in the city. You don't have to keep promoting. And even if people, I can if a person is not wearing helmet and gloves, I can consider you looking down upon him, saying that basic safety standards. But if he's not wearing a jacket, and if he's not in a full suit or something like that, you cannot look down upon him, as he is doing the basic needs necessary for safety. A helmet and gloves is more than enough to protect your head and to protect your hands, palms, in case of any slide or any accident. So yeah, dude, these gear warriors too keep looking down on people who are not very interested in buying full gear. So this is another toxic trait. Just accept people who are following the basics, right? And then the third is, big super bikes looking down upon your single cylinder or single cylinder bikes. Every bike is an emotion to the rider. So these super bike owners, the big bike owners, shouldn't be looking down upon, generic bikes, because every bike has its own fun, every bike has its own use, every bike is special, every bike is good. So just stop discriminating based on your class and based on the money you spent. Just be an all-inclusive motorcycling community, be an all-inclusive bike community, and people be much happier, people be more willing to listen to you if you talk about things like safety gear and all. People be more accepting, they would want to follow somebody who is actually genuinely positive about riding. So yeah guys, these are few topics I wanted to touch upon, and I did. So for any queries you can comment down, for any feedback you can comment down. Until then, take care.